Okay, cool. All right. So yes, today is, Dan let me know that there may have been a possible mix up in the topic today. Today is not inspections. Today is supposed to be post-closing systems. So what does that mean? That means after you close a buyer or a seller, what happens next at that point? And what I mean by that is like what happens next on the real estate transaction side, but also more importantly, what happens next on the business relationship aspect after you're done with them. Because unfortunately, unlike a mechanic, like they're not going to be coming back to us for service, every couple of months or a year. Usually people don't transact business until every 5 to 7 years on average. However, we still want them in our world and we still want to get business from them, during that time. So let's talk about that a little bit. But before we get to that, I will tell you how we at least close up the transaction side. So you get done closing, the title company, if you're working with First Land Transfer, they will usually hand you or email you a copy of the executed ALTA, it's called. It's like the settlement sheet with all the buyer and seller charges on it. And then they will also give you a copy of what's called a marked up title report. All right. And so those are the two things that we need to upload into Command, which I'll show you in a second. So a lot of times when you go to another title company, so there's going to be times maybe where your buyers want to use a different title company because there's some incentive for them to use another title company. Or even on the seller side, you'll be using another title company a lot because the buyer gets to choose a title company and that buyer might want to choose a different title company. So sometimes other title companies, unlike First Land Transfer, First Land knows that that's what we need to submit to the office because obviously they're, joined with us pretty much. But other title companies don't know that, and so they won't give you a marked up title usually at closing. So you have to just remember to ask them for that. So sometimes they'll say at the end of the closing, they'll say, hey, Diane, what do you need? And then they'll just wait for you to answer. And so you'll just tell them, hey, I need 1 or 2 copies of the ALTA and a marked up title report. And so usually they'll have the ALTA ready, of course, but I've had it multiple times where the marked up title, they don't have that ready for me when I ask for it. So they'll just email it to me later. So those are the documents you need. You will need, obviously, some money, of course. So you'll need your checks, your commission check. The commission check will be made out to Keller Williams. There may also be another commission check made out for conveyancing payments. And then there may or may not be things that the conveyancer in our office, Lois, she may have other checks that she wants you to bring back with you, but that's a case-by-case basis. For instance, like if Lois, the conveyancer, orders, the final water certs or water bills, and, the conveyancer has to pay $25 to get those certs, well, she needs to get paid back. And so they'll be writing, a check for the conveyancing service to Lois. So sometimes it's just easier for us to bring it back to give to Lois ourselves. So anyways, I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but anyways, to sum it up, you'll be bringing back checks as well to the office. So once you have the check, the first thing that let me back up here. I'm going to share my command screen with you. Let's see here. 1 second. I'll do my most recent closing. Let's see. All right. Share screen. Okay, cool. All right, so in Command here. So this is, just in case you didn't know, so this is like in the handshake deal here, the opportunity section. I just went to one of my closed buyer deals, and I'm just clicking on one of my buyers here that's just closed this week. All right. So in here, hopefully, I'm not sure, you guys may or may not know this already, but I'll assume you don't. What you'll want to do is to kind of close up your transaction to get paid is two things. You will need to, the document section I was telling you about, so open up documents here. All right, so over here, you see this close section. So if I click on close, it has that spot I was just telling you about for the ALTA, the signed ALTA, and the marked up title. So you want to make sure you upload those two. Usually you do also want to have the commission check, like I would say like a picture of it, so like, or a copy of it. So like when you get the check in your hand, you can either take a picture of your phone, or when you're in the office, make a copy of the check before you hand it in. I didn't do it in this case because, you know, this is actually all new to me too. I'm learning this as well. And so I handed in my check before I knew that I needed to actually have a copy. But, you know, it was fine in this case. So yes, so you just upload it. And so to upload it, like I'll show you, you just hit add file, and then you can either hit browse if you saved it to your computer files, or if it's in DocuSign or .loop, you can just hit DocuSign button or .loop button, and then all the forms that you have in DocuSign will be in here, and you can just click on the form and just bring it right in. All right, it's really easy. So that's the one thing, is you just want to make sure those things here in the closed section that you uploaded those, and those three are the most important. There's other things here like addendums, agent referral, that's case by case stuff, but as long as you have these three here, you're good to go. Next, so you want to go to the commissions tab. So this commissions tab is going to be taking over the place of the green sheet. So you'll probably see, you guys probably may have saw or heard of the term green sheet. Well, this is going to be taking the place of that. And it's much easier, to be honest with you. But this commissions tab will not be available to you unless you actually hit this offers tab first. I'll click on this offers tab. So in the offers tab, you know, again, remember I have a buyer here. You would, when you hit it, there will be nothing in here, and you would hit add a new offer. All right, and let me see if it'll.
That's my next door neighbor, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I saw it, I was like, you probably know this person. Let's see here. Yeah, so it won't let me open up what I did in here just because it's a closed file. But let me see. If I hit add a new offer, I won't do that because it might send something to Kathleen. So anyways, if you hit add a new offer, you just go through, it's like 2 or 3 steps of just filling in the offer price, the amount of the deposit, what the close date was. It's like literally 2 or 3 things. It's very simple. And then you click accept offer. So once you hit accept offer, because your buyer's under contract, the offer was accepted, then the commissions tab will be available to you, all right? And so then once you have that commissions tab available, you can click on and look and verify that the numbers are right. So on my thing here, you can see, and I like this too because it gives you a real view of where you're at as far as like your split and your cap and things. So you know, I can see at the top, you know, my sales price is right, the commission rate is correct, the commission is correct, the dates are right, and then down here at the payment section, I can see that, you know, $824 went to my royalty cap, and then it shows me over here that, you know, I have $1,600 left to pay in for my royalty. And that's a 6% royalty, so it shows you all that numbers. And then it shows that $4,000 went to my company commission split. And so it shows down here how much I have left to pay for that as well. And then it shows the net to me down here at the bottom. So if all that looks right, then you hit submit over here. And then that goes directly to Kathleen. And Kathleen will review it. and then she'll pay you based off of that. So it's much easier, much easier than the green sheet. The green sheet had all these spots you had to fill in. It was a bunch of stuff. This is very, very simple. Okay, and there'll be more classes on this. Like, I'm literally just kind of throwing this in my training, not even really necessarily supposed to be the trainer for this, but so you'll get more training on this if needed, but that's just a kind of a quick rundown of how that works. So that's how you get paid. Yeah, so when you have that physical check, though, you'll bring that to the office. There's in the Accent office, there's a closed sale checklist that you'll attach the check to. And then there's a couple things you have to mark off on this checklist. And then in the back there, where the mail room is, there's a black safe. You just put the check in the safe, and then Kathleen will get it out of the safe, and then she'll cut you your money after she looks through your stuff here. I'm sure it's somewhat similar at the Westchester office. So, all right. Any questions about that process we're getting paid before we move on to post-close systems?
Yeah.
No?
Hey, Lewis, maybe a couple of questions. If we are already done the green sheet, do we need to do this as well, or is it just a potentially not? Okay.
Yeah, you should be fine with just the green sheet.
Okay. But help me understand a little bit more just as far as who gives me the check to take to the office?
Good question.
Wouldn't that the broker that should give it to us, I guess?
So what'll happen is that the title company, whoever's the settlement officer, whoever's conducting settlement, they will cut the checks and give them to you.
Okay.
So
at closing. Yeah.
At closing, right when they get done signing everything, they'll just say, "Here, Dan, here's your checks. Here, the other listing agent or whatever the other agent is. Here's your checks," and then we leave.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Good question. Any other questions? No? All right, perfect. All right, so next, let's move on. All right, next thing. So let's talk about, so after you've closed, let's talk about, okay, what do we do with that client now? So my suggestion is that, you, first of all, you go into your command and you create follow-up task. Because what you don't want to happen is that if you don't create some type of follow-up system to keep in touch with those clients, you'll forget about them. And what we call in real estate, we call them orphan clients. They call them, was where they're just clients that close with an agent, and then the agent pretty much just forgot about them, and someone else is able to pick them up. And that happens all the time in our business, where it's like strange and like, wait, you used so-and-so to buy a house, but now you're using someone else. Well, yeah, it's because, Lewis didn't keep in touch with me, or, so it happens all the time. So you don't want that, because the easiest business for you after you're in this a couple of years is going to be from the people that you close. They're going to be the easiest form of referrals and repeat business. And so you want to keep them in your world. You don't want to do all that heavy lifting of getting them closed and then just releasing them to the wild so everyone else can have their referrals and everything. So the first thing I would do is, when you go into command, I would create tasks for follow-up. And one of the first tasks you want to do is number one, put a task in there to follow up with them in a week. So in a week, hey, how's the move-in? How did the move-in process go? Is there anything you have questions about inside the house? Or you guys feel all settled in? Is there anything that I could provide to you that you guys need? Like, did you realize that you need to have the house cleaned? Or did you realize that you need have an electrician come in for something? Like, whatever they may need that they didn't think about at first, you want to be that person. I heard someone say that you want to be the mayor for all of your people. So everyone should come to you for everything. That's kind of what you want. And so 1 week after closing, follow up with them just to see how they're doing. All right. So you create that task. The next thing you want to do is set a task follow up for like quarterly phone calls. So the quarterly calls should be tasks that just run by itself. Every 3 months, you'll have a reminder pop up in your command that, hey, Krista, you need to call, Pam, just to, check in with her and see how she's doing. So that's an automatic reminder for you that every 3 months you need to touch with a phone call every 3 months, every quarterly. That's one thing. The other thing you want to do is quick before I move on. What type of things do you discuss during quarterly calls is probably maybe what some are thinking. What I would say is, you can all, first just make it about them, just make it just about just genuinely like just calling to see how they're doing, what's new in your life, how are things going, are you still loving the house? Great. And then besides that, you can always give them some information, hey, just what's going on right now in the market, yada, yada, yada. You have any questions, let me know. And then two, with the whole vendor thing, hey, I just don't want you to forget that I have a whole list of vendors, roofers, landscapers, yada, yada, yada. So if you need anything, like, let me know and I'll send you over some good people to connect with for that. So those are just a couple of things that you want to check in with them during the quarterly calls. There's another call that you can make, which I'll get to a little bit later. The next thing is you want to set them up for like either monthly emails or neighborhood nurtures, what they call it in Command. So either you can, have like a monthly email where it's kind of like a newsletter, like, this month in June, here's my newsletter. And the newsletters, will have different things, different little articles that, are helpful to your clients. Like, spring's around the corner. Here's some things to do to your house to get it ready for the market in spring, or, whatever it may be. They have a bunch of different little articles or whatever. So you can set that up. That automatically should go out like every month, boom, the first same day of the month, your past clients are getting a monthly touch. The next thing would be is the neighborhood nurtures I was telling you about. So when they close in Command, make sure you guys type in their address in their new address in Command, because when you put their address in Command in the contact section, like their contact or information section, it'll automatically like bring up the ability to send them what's called a neighborhood nurture plan. A neighborhood nurture plan is that, like, if I put these people in there, which, maybe I'll see if I can do it real quick. Give me 1 second. Because I'm showing you, I don't think I did this for them, so maybe I can just do it live. Let's see. Good contacts. Okay. So if I go to this edit here and I go more information, additional contact information. Okay, primary address, it says here. So their new address is 1034 Linden Ave, Chester Springs. Great, so it pops up there. I clicked on that. And now, same as mailing address. Okay, now I can click save. Now you see that it says subscribe to neighborhoods. So that did it automatically. And it's saying the neighborhood is Linden. Now, you want to make sure that's right, because it's a weird name that they gave it. So it shows you a little like area here. So we can hit preview here. It shows you, it colors in the area that it's automatically titling as their neighborhood. It's going to work. Come on. Okay. All right. So that's the neighborhood that I want. Now they didn't, obviously that neighborhood, I know it's called Weatherstone. They didn't they didn't title it as Weatherstone. They called it Linden for some reason. But the area is correct. You know, this is the area that the neighborhood that they live in. So it grabbed it, you know, fine. You know, that works. So you just want to confirm that the area is the correct area. And so as you can see, it did that automatically, that's their neighborhood now. And so now I can go to task. I can put add task. Oh no, I don't want that actually. Smart plan. I'm sorry. It's a smart plan is what you want to add for the neighborhood. And here it's called monthly neighborhood nurture. So I can select that smart plan. I can click, you know, start now or start later. So if I hit start now, confirm, perfect. All right, now it's active. So now once a month, she's going to get an email that shows her the activity in that neighborhood there that was highlighted. So, you know, what's available right now. It's like, what's the stats as far as, you know, days on market and things like that. So it does it automatically. And that's what you want, you know, because you're not going to remember to do that all the time on your own. So you want things to happen on its own automatically. So that's that. So you want to make sure you assign that to your clients after you close them. Next, get out of that. Next thing is home anniversary or a CMA checkup, I call it. So the home anniversary, there's in command, you can put in the settlement date and it's called home anniversary in command. And then there's a smart plan for that too. So you can, it's called home anniversary smart plan. So you can go ahead and it'll remind you, you know, hey, you know, Lewis, you know, this time next year, it's going to remind me that the Gray family purchased Linden and their anniversary is coming up. So like what I just did was, it just reminded me of some clients, you know, that I put in there from like 3 years ago that they bought. What I did was it reminded me a week ahead. So I went to this system called AM Cards, it's called, and like I just wrote out this home anniversary card and you know, just said, hey, I can't believe it's been 3 years, and I hope Facebook is a lifesaver too, because you know I went to Facebook and was able to be reminded of what their kids' names were and everything. So I was like, you know, I hope, you know, Charlie and the baby Carter on the way are, you know, are doing well, yada, yada, yada. You know, thank you so much for, you know, supporting my business and yada. And so, and then you can even send like a gourmet brownie. You can send a $5 Starbucks card with it. So this system, like this site called AM Cards, like does all that like for me. So I just like type out the card. I put my logo on it to brand the card and then click send, and then they do it for me. So you can have a system for that to do that for you. All right. So that's another thing. Oh, I said, what did I say? CMA checkup. So I heard this from a team down in Atlanta, that this is where they get a lot of like referrals, and they have a pretty big business. And one of the things I love what they said was they compared it to like the dentist or your doctor, that, you know, you don't just go to the dentist and say, all right, see you in 10 years. Or you don't go to the doctor and say, oh, you know, I'll see you in 5 years. Like, even if there's nothing wrong, you still go to the dentist for every 6 months for a cleaning, or you still go to the doctor for a yearly physical. Why don't we do that for our real estate clients? You know, most people just kind of just leave them off. Well, you know what? They bought something from you. You know, they purchased a house from you most likely. So give them a checkup, you know, quote unquote. So what they do is they do a very quick like CMA, and they say, hey, you know, it's been 1 year, you know, here's a quick, you know, home anniversary, you know, CMA on your home value, you know, based on the market, your home, you know, appreciated by this is what the price is now. And they said by doing that they get so many listing appointments, because it's not going to happen right away, you know, from you guys, because when you're starting to build it, but after time, after you get more and more people in there, when you send that out, like more and more people are going to, number one, you stay top of mind by sending that out. Number two, they're sometimes they don't know how much their house is worth. And so by you saying like, hey, you're worth your house. I know you bought your house with me for 240, quick CMA real quick. It's anywhere from 300 to 310 right now. Sometimes they don't know that. And they're going to be like, oh, wow. And then they're going to call you and they're going to say, hey, Dan, thanks for sending that out. I had no clue that the market was that hot right now. Can you come on out to talk about it? So that's the kind of calls that there are a lot of them. So anyway, so I think that's a great idea to do that. Again, it's just another service to provide to your clients. And it's not like, again, it's not a very hard, detailed CMA. Like, you're not spending an hour and you're not telling them, hey, I know your house is worth exactly this. It's like, hey, just a quick check. Here's a range anywhere from this to this right now is where your house is sitting as far as appreciation. All right. So that's another touch. Client events. So obviously, I'm taking COVID out of my training right now. So we don't know how that's going to impact and do client events. I'm sure we're going to do them and we're going to find out the best way to do them moving forward. But I'm just going to teach you as if that's not even the picture. So client events, like, they're awesome, guys. I love client events. It is such, and again, for me, like, I built my business off of referrals, and that has been like one of the key things for me. Was client events. Is that, so what I used to do is I used to do one per quarter, and I used to mix it up. And so I would because I have different demographics in my database. Like, I have some people that, have a family, kids, and they're married. And then I have some people that, like, they just bought their first house and they're either not married or just getting married, no kids, whatever. And so different things that appeal to different people. So like that family with 3 or 4 kids, they might not come out to my happy hour, on a Thursday evening because they're busy with family stuff. But, vice versa, that 24-year-old might not come to my family bowling night that I do. But I do different things for different groups, you know what I mean? To try to mix it up. So, I'll do sometimes, again, I'll do a happy hour, one of them I'll do, like I told you, I used to rent some lanes at Round One in Exton. So I rent, pizza and drinks and a couple of lanes and invite the families out or whatever. During the fall, doing something at one of the places that do hay rides and corn mazes and things like that. Invite the families out to that. There's some stuff in the winter time where people do pictures with Santa. You just get creative with it, whatever it is. But yes, you just, try to do something. Starting out, you don't have to aim for 4 client events or anything like that. Just focus on just doing one at first. And for you guys, you might say, well, I don't have many clients. What do I do? You invite people that you want in your world to support your business. So, you invite a lot of business relationships that you're building. Maybe you're the accountant that you're trying to get referrals from. Invite him and his family on out. Maybe whoever else you're trying to, whatever other businesses or vendors that you're, dealing with, invite them out. And then your database, your SOI, invite them out and, and do, so you don't have to have actual clients, but as you do have clients, you'll want to invite them. So why it's so good is that, number one, they just appreciate, you doing that for them. It's just a nice gesture for them to be able to come out. They don't have to pay for anything and, have the kids bowling, eat pizza, and go home. It's just a nice thing to do. The other thing is that when I did that bowling event, I think I paid maybe $100. It cost $450 for the day, but I only paid $100. So you leverage vendors. So I had an insurance person pay some of the bill. I had my mortgage lender pay some of the bill. A title person paid some of the bill. So just leverage them, because one thing is that you guys will learn that, or before you even do learn, I just want to tell you guys now, you guys, real estate agents are the nucleus to everything else. They know that when a buyer or a seller that's eventually going to need title, They're going to need mortgage. They're going to need a home inspector. Who are they going to call first when they want to purchase? They don't call a home inspector first. So, hey, man, you know what? I think I want to buy a house. Like, no, you don't call a home inspector. Same thing for title. Like, you don't call any of those people. You call a real estate agent first. So we are always the first people to get that touch. And they know that. And that's why they want relationships with you. Because if they can get a relationship with you, then you can pass that business to them. So leverage that relationship, you know, for your benefit and for your business's benefit. So that's one of the things that I do. Another thing I would like, a game changer was, because, you know, what you also want to do is when they come out, you don't want them to come out, you know, eat, drink, have a great time, and then go home. Like, don't get me wrong, that's great. But if you can also get something out of it, that's even better. And so what I did was I created a referral contest. And so I would raffle off $100 gift card to like a restaurant. And I'd say, look, you know, I'm raffling, and I'll tell them ahead of time before they come, raffling off a $100 gift card to one of the, you know, best local restaurants. And if you want to be entered in the raffle, all you have to do is, you know, fill out an entry sheet with the name and phone number of someone that's looking to sell or buy in the next 12 months. Man, I never knew how competitive people get to win. Like, they were filling out slips at the bowling alley left and right. And the one thing is, like, one of them was a family that, like, I was under contract with. They were purchasing a house at that moment with me. So I've been working with them for 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, wait, we've been hanging out for 2 or 3 months and you didn't tell me that you had 3 or 4 people that needed to buy or sell. It took the gift card for the bring them, you know, out of it. And then on top of that, guys, this is the best part. I know I don't pay for the gift cards. All I do is just go to the local restaurant and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to throw a client event for a lot of the families that are moving in the area. And I would love them to try out your place first and know about your place. Do you want to donate a $100 gift card for me to give out? They're like, oh my God, absolutely, here. And they give me the $100 gift card and I give it away. So yes, client events. So again, will we have to, you know, I don't know, again, with COVID-19, I don't know how we'll be changing things a little bit, but client events are still going to happen. And I would suggest like you guys doing something like that with your past clients and just with your database in general. Let's see here. And I would say the other thing is just asking for referrals, guys. I mean,
Louis, can I ask a quick question?
please, please.
So I love that last idea that you were talking about, and I see how it would make sense if you're already at an event and you're having people fill things out.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do something like that online? Like,
oh yeah,
from say my real estate page, say, look, I'm raffling $100 gift
Mm-hmm.
card. Same thing you just said. You know, the first 10 people that can give me
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 people they know that might be interested. So you don't necessarily, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so you can. What I would do is double check with the broker just to make sure that you do it the right way. Because like you got that term RESPA out there. And so you can't like reward someone for, I believe like the definition is for like an outcome that you're looking to get. So I can't say like, hey, if you give me someone, you know, that puts money in my pocket, I'll give you this type of a thing. That's like a RESPA violation or something. But there is ways that you can do it. Like I've seen a lot of the real estate teams in our office will do for reviews, like on Zillow and Google. They'll say like, hey, if you go online and do a review, you'll be entered to win a free Yeti from us. So you can do it. You just got to make sure that you word it the right way and you're doing it the right way. Because when you put something online to the masses, you know what happens, Diane? Well, for lack of a better term, you get a lot of haters out there. And a lot of the haters are other real estate agents that didn't think about that, or they didn't have the guts to do what you're doing. And then they'll try to report you, oh, well, you can't do that. And that's a violation. So you just want to make sure that if you're going to do it to the masses, that you're just doing it the right way. So you don't, you know, get in trouble or anything. But yes, it's possible. I think it's definitely something you should look into.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. What other questions you guys have? Because I'm starting to run out of material unless you guys ask questions. Because there's just not a whole lot to cover for post-closing systems. I mean, unless you guys just interrupt me if you have a question. you just want to, again, referrals is the game. And so like, you just want to, stay in the person's world. Like whoever's in your database, you just got to stay in their world. I mean, you've done a good job. And two, one thing I've learned too throughout my career is that, don't get in your head too much. Cause I used to think like, if I had a tough transaction with someone, time getting what they wanted, repair inspections went bad, and I give them the keys, they're happy and everything, but then in my mind I'm thinking like, they probably didn't have a good experience with me, like I'm not going to call them and I don't want to bother them, they're probably mad or whatever. Like, and I found out like a lot of times like that is just so not true. Like it's just you're making up stuff in your head. And so just call and stay in the world. I mean, and even if they don't even answer the first time, like, call again in another month or two, or shoot them a text. And, just keep it that you really do want a relationship. Like you don't want it to come, I'm just gonna keep in touch with you so I can get business. Like that's not what you want. And honestly, like people can tell when I stay in people's world, that is not, like I don't even ask really for business. My thing is, I think I said this before in coaching, is that if I can just stay in your world, when your world needs a real estate agent, you're going to pass me the business. I don't even have to ask for it. It's just that what happens is if you don't stay in the world is that they're just going to forget about you. And I guarantee you, like I used to think that, oh, well, I helped them buy a house. Like, how are they ever going to forget about me? Well, trust me, guys, like it happens all the time. And I even noticed it myself because like I graduated with someone that in my class from school that created his own landscaping business. And when people would ask me for a landscaper, like I wouldn't know who to refer them to. And then they're like, oh, wait, I forgot Josh has a landscaping business. So it's because Josh and me hasn't been talking. He wasn't in my world, so I just completely forgot he even did landscaping. So they're going to be the same thing way with you guys, is that like just because you helped them buy a house a couple years ago, like trust me, like they're going to forget. And so you just want to stay in their world whatever way you can. And that's the whole meaning behind when I keep using the word touches. Some of you guys might think, oh, this is getting weird, like what do you mean I keep touching them or whatever. It's really all about they did a study that if the agents that are quote unquote touching their database a certain amount of times every year are getting a certain amount of business out of it every year. And so they studied the top agents in the country, many of them, and that's where they came down and they found out like, wait, all the agents that are netting $1 million from their business, they're all quote unquote touching their database 36 times. And so that's where we get the data. Like we don't just like make it up like, oh, you should, reach out to your clients 36 times a year. Like, no, it's proven data. And so that's why when I say quarterly calls, like that's 4 out of the 36 touches. When you do client events, like you do touches around the client event because you call before the client event, you'll interact with them at the client event, and then you'll follow after the client event. So you can get many touches from that too. And so you just, again, it's all about just staying in their world, and then you'll get business from them. However, and get creative with it, however you want to get creative with it. But that's the purpose of the post-closing systems, is just putting some systems into place that you still going after new business, but at the same time, you have systems that will keep you in touch with your old business. And that's the point of it. So anybody have any questions about any of this, keeping in touch, getting referrals? Nothing? It was, all right, I guess it's Friday. You guys just want to get to your weekend. I don't blame you guys. Cool. So yes, I think that, let me double check on my list one more time. Yeah, I think that's all that I have for you guys. So if you guys need me for anything, you guys know how to get in touch with me. We're going to reset. Is it? Yeah, probably next. Yeah, I think I will reset next week probably to do the other ones over again. So again, it's going to reset next week for, buyers, sellers, going into inspections again and all that. So, if you guys missed any of the ones that we did before, you know, I will be doing it again. And again, I think I mentioned before, like, I like to make things better every time. So, you know, even if you were at the last ones, I'm sure there's going to be things that I put into this future one that I didn't do in the first one. So, yeah, don't be afraid or nervous to pop up again if you want. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for coming and learning, and take care.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks,
Louis.
Louis.
Welcome. See ya.